In this lesson, I'm going to show you a great voicing exercise that creates a beautiful sound for comping and composition, but it's also a great exercise to work on your chord voicings and fingerings. What you do to start is you start with a drop 3 chord. So we're going to explore the different types of chords, but let's start with major 7. So in this case, we're going to start with G major 7. Okay, and what we're trying to do is create a rising bass line and a descending note in the middle that creates this very nice voice leading chordal move. So what's happening here is the bass note is going up and an inner voice in the chord is going down. So when you put that together, you get, you can hear that inner voice going down, and you can hear the bass note going up. So in doing this, you start with essentially a drop 3 chord. Then the second chord ends up being really a triad over bass, which is a D, in this case, major over an A bass. And then you get to the first inversion, drop 2 chord. So you're switching the voicings, but you're maintaining the G major 7 sound. A great exercise is just to go through voicings like this. And by doing this, you could just hear how you could use this. It's just a very smooth way of playing a major 7 chord while getting some movement in the chord. Now, if you were to try this with another chord, you'd do the same exact thing. Let's try G7. So, okay. Now we're going to go up to, in this case now it's going to be an A bass and a D minor chord because we're moving the notes, how they correspond with the scale and the chord type. But in this case, it's going to be a difficult stretch. So we're going to have to move this A to the next string. In this case, it's an open string in this key, but it will go like that. For dominant 7. Now let's try minor 7. Same approach, just different notes. Let's also do a minor 7 flat 5 for this lesson. So we start with the drop 3, then we're going to go to basically a D flat triad over an A flat and your first inversion. So minor 7 flat 5 and the inversion. Now at the beginning I was showing these to you in the key of G. The reason I show this to you is that it incorporates some open strings so that the fingerings are a little bit easier at the beginning. So you can get the sound in your ear, you can really understand what we're doing. Then after you do G, you'll want to start transposing this to other keys. Now I think you'll find when you transpose to other keys, you'll find that there's some more stretching involved. So you'll have to get used to that when you're practicing this. So now let's do B flat. Now this is the stretchier chord that I was talking about. So this is going to be a harder one to do than the open string, but this is a fairly common voicing on guitar, so if you can get that, it's a great sound. Here's the dominant 7, but without the open strings. Here's the minor 7 without the open strings. the minor 7 flat 5 without the open strings. So that's an example of a 2-5-1 where I used it on the 1 chord. I started with an A minor 11, then I went to a D7, put some tensions on the chord. Then I played this voicing exercise that switches the voicings but retains the G major sound.